guys, it's me Rohan Singh and I'm back with another video today, and I'll be talking about the books which I recommend for getting really good marks in your term 2 exams for science. Earlier I made a video for the books which I recommend for math, but if you're interested in watching the video for math, then you should click the link over here. But I'm going to talk about science now, and the book which I'm going to recommend first for science is the ncrt exemplar, the science version. Now, just like I talked before about the math version, this is the really important book. It has pretty much all the questions which are really important for CBSE. It has all the board questions, NCRT questions which are taken from the NCRT book, questions which are released by the board CBSE by themselves, questions from previous board exams, questions which they have made newly. It's a really good book. There's a book like this for math as well, which I also recommended in the math version, but many people don't know that there's a science version as well. In fact, the math version seems to be the most popular, and the science version is kind of forgotten. So I just thought that I should bring this to light here, that there's an exemplar book for science as well. This is really good. I have the Arihant edition. You can get the EduCard or the official one as well, but this is also pretty good. It will cover all the chapters. You could just skip all the chapters which were for term 1 and focus on the ones for term 2, for science and math both. So all the questions are here. These are really important. It has MCQs as well as subjective, although most of them are subjective questions which you will have to write. But it has some important MCQs as well, like anywhere from 20 to 30, sometimes in 40, depends on the chapter length. But it has many MCQs as well, but it still has more subjective ones, which you have to write, which are not just about clicking or circling the correct option out of the 4. However, the situation of this might change. And what do I mean by situation? I mean the Omicron cases have been increasing in India, especially in Delhi. They have risen to over 500, as far as I know, 400, 500, and that's quite a big increase, because earlier we were getting only like 40, 30 cases per day. Now we're getting like 400, 500, and that is only in a span of 3-4 days. So things are quickly increasing. So none of us have any idea what the situation might entail in the future. Maybe the exams will either be cancelled, or instead of pure subjective, it will be made pure objective, like the term 1 exam. In that case, you study only the MCQs. So the situation might change. But the reason I really recommend this book is because either way the situation goes, either fully objective like term 1 was, or it'll be subjective, or it'll be a mix, both subjective and objective. Either way, this book will help you, because if it's subjective, it has many subjective questions. If it is objective, then it has many objective questions. If it is both, then it has both as well. So this book works in all scenarios. That's why I recommend this. The second book which I'm going to talk about is the Arihant All for One. Now, it's different from the Arihant Exemplar. This is a much bigger book. This contains a lot of very well explained theory for the science chapters that is not present in the Exemplar. The Exemplar is all about the questions and practice. This is both about practice and theory. Both of these are really important, as you all know. So this is such a large book, as you can see. So it has all the chapters. I'll link all these books down below. If anyone wants to buy them to increase their knowledge. This video is not sponsored. This is just my personal opinion, because I've read from these books for like months now. Ever since the 10th academic session started, I've been reading from these books, so I have a lot of experience with them. I've done a lot of their questions, and I'm able to see how their questions hold up in actual exams, as I've given many of them now. So this book is really good. It has helped me so much in understanding all the science chapters. There are some science chapters, especially in physics and chemistry, which I had a hard time understanding with the normal NCRT, traditional standard one, which they give you, which is required. But this really helped me, especially in physics and chemistry. So if you want to really get the theory part down, which is also important, and if you're having trouble with understanding, especially with the physics chapters, since NCRT has kind of a weird explanation of physics chapters, they are not really clear. There are barely any theory in physics chapters. It's also kind of difficult to understand where is the definition, where does it start, where does it end. So it's really weird trying to study with NCRT, the standard book, although it is still good. So in that case, you should really get this book, as according to the name, it has everything. It has many questions as well, which you can practice by after you finish reading the theory. You can do all the practice sessions. There are some sample papers at the end, or I would not call them sample papers. They're basically a collection of chapter-wise questions. In a sense, they are still sample papers, but they're just called a different name. But let's just call them what they are. They're sample papers. They're at the end of the book. Each chapter at the end also has their own specific questions, which are really important. The third book which I recommend is the EduCard Science Term 2 Question Bank. This is also really good. I recommended the Term 1 book as well, I think, and this is the Term 2 version. This is of the same quality as the Term 1 version, which is good. It has both theory and questions, although it has way more questions than theory, and the theory, in my opinion, is better in the Arihant version, the all-in-one, which I presented earlier, the second book. The theory is better in that, but the questions in this book are are better than the all-in-one. So if you really want to study theory and get deep into the theory of the book, which is really important as well, then go for all-in-one. But if you want to really get the practice down, then go for this one, because this is really good. It has some questions which appeal to the 2021 to 2022 ncrt syllabus, in the sense that basically has many important questions which are truly based on the competency-based education which CBSE is going for now in the future, which this book hasn't really adopted that well. This has all the important questions, so even if some of the questions don't come, you'll be able to get the gist of all them and how to solve them, because you've already seen them before. You won't get flustered like many students when they see a new type of question. They get flustered on how to solve them, a new type of question in which basically has the straight answer, but you kind of it is in a twisted sense, right? The question is twisted, it's presented in a different way, and in that when seeing that, many students, including me, get flustered many times. So this book will basically prepare you really well for all the different type of questions which can come, from hard to easy, from twisted to untwisted. It's a lot of variety, especially now that CBSE is going for competency-based education, which means that there will be many different type of questions presented in new ways, which CBSE hasn't done before, so you need to be prepared for that, and this book will easily prepare you. It's a really creative and well-made book, and I really like it. The theory itself is also good, it's not bad, but I still think the all-in-one is more detailed, but for practice, this is very good. The fourth book which I'm going to talk about now is the OSFAL version, which is the CBSE Objective plus Subjective OSFAL Gurukul chapter-wise question bank. This has both objective and subjective. And again, as I said before, the situation is changing due to Omicron. It is really tentative. It can change. Either CBSE will make the paper objective if the cases rise a lot, then it'll be the same as term 1, it'll be all objective, or if the cases flatten out or decrease a lot, then CBSE will go with what they have done, which is pretty much subjective with some objective questions here and there. I've gone through all these books, and I've made some really good decisions, in the sense that in whichever scenario, whether it is 100% objective or 100% subjective, these books will still be the same use to everyone, which is really good. It's a lot of use. These books will still hold up, as there will be still some objective questions, either 1 to 2 markers, which are in all of these books, and there will be 4 or 5 marker big questions which are also in these books. These are really well made. They have a lot of flowcharts, a lot of mind maps, which help you visualize the chapter in a whole, and really make you recall all the different concepts quickly, which is really important, especially for subjects like science and math and SST. Like, there are over 200 questions per chapter in this book. So if you really want to learn all the different type of questions and get a lot of practice, then this book, as well as the one which I talked before, which is the EduCard one, both are such good options. Again, just like I talked before in the math one, you can either choose this one, the EduCard one, or both of them like I did. So you'll have maximum efficiency. Basically, you'll get the best of both worlds. And yeah guys, that's it. Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed it, and goodbye.